As a kid, all a nigga wanna have was a Burberry scarf and $3 in my pocket. Instead I got beat with a switch, but I don't give a fuck, but it's on my body. Scars all up on me, but I run around from everybody. Life lesson learned, I better learn from this bitch, nobody. She pushed me around, she didn't give no motherfucks about it. She broke my heart 3 times, but I ain't getting...
So, the next team that we have to preview are the New England Patriots. Now, I believe that the New England Patriots are the most slept-on team heading into this upcoming NFL season. A lot of people think just because they have several players that won't be playing this year due to, the pandemic, choosing to opt out and not play this year, a lot of people feel like just because they lost Tom Brady, this team is going to be terrible and they're not going to really do much anything. And I would like to disagree with that. Okay? I think this New England Patriots team is going to be really competitive. And I think that they most likely will make it to the playoffs. And they are my pick to win the AFC East this year. Because I'm not going to go against Bill Belichick. Like, here's what we got to stop doing. I know Tom Brady is the greatest quarterback to ever play the game. He is a phenomenal quarterback. He's one of the best to ever play. But, I mean, Bill Belichick has won without Tom Brady in the past. He won 11-5 with Matt Castle. He won games with Jimmy Garoppolo. He got Jacoby Brissett, Jimmy G, Matt Castle, all on different teams. At one point, Jimmy Garoppolo and both Jacoby Brissett were 2 starters. So Bill Belichick knows how to, get the most out of the guys that he has on his team because he's such of a great coach, has a good coaching staff around him. And a lot of people tend to, overlook coaching. A lot of people just, try to determine how good a team is going to be based on the talent that they have on the roster. And that's not necessarily true. Sometimes you have to look past, the lack of talent. You got to look at how they make up for that. And the way that the New England Patriots make up for their lack of talent is coaching. You see, coaching matters more than, the players around them. Because listen, if you have a great team, that doesn't mean you're going to make it to the playoffs. Look at the Dallas Cowboys. Look at the Cleveland Browns. They both missed the playoffs despite having pretty solid teams. And you want to know why? Because they had bad coaching. Jason Garrett and Freddie Kitchens weren't good coaches. Hence the reason why they got fired. But when you got a good coach can work around, his team's weaknesses and figure out how to get the most out of the guys that he has on his roster. And that's what Bill Belichick is able to do. The Patriots are never a team that you look at and say, hey, they're one of the most talented teams in the NFL. The Patriots have had a top 15 or top 20 roster for over the last 4 or 5 seasons, okay? So that should go tell you everything that you need to know about the New England Patriots. The New England Patriots don't win games because of talent. They win games because they're better prepared than you. They outcoach you. They out-game plan you. And they're more disciplined than you. And plus, they don't turn the football over. That's what makes the New England Patriots successful. So the fact that people keep saying that the Patriots aren't going to do this, the Patriots aren't going to be that, they're going to be terrible, they're going to tank for Trevor Lawrence, I think that you got to go back and you really don't understand the function and how this New England Patriots organization works, and you don't understand what is the main reason for the New England Patriots success. Look at all the quarterbacks in the NFL that have been successful. They all have good coaches. Patrick Mahomes has Andy Reid. Russell Wilson has Pete Carroll. Drew Brees has Sean Payton. So, the better the quarterback, a good quarterback always, majority of the time, has a great head coach. So, if you're the New England Patriots and you're a New England Patriots fan, I think that you should be feeling pretty confident about yourself. And, you got your Buffalo Bills fans out there that just want to go ahead and claim themselves the AFC East champions and things like that. But it's a reason why games aren't played on paper. The Buffalo Bills may look like the better team on paper, which they are, but I still don't believe that the Buffalo Bills coaching staff has what it takes to outcoach this New England Patriots team. Now we got to talk about, Cam Newton. A lot of people think that Cam Newton is washed up. Listen, I don't think Cam Newton is washed up. Now, is he the same Cam Newton that he was from 2015? No, he's not. He's not Super Cam anymore. But the New England Patriots don't need him to be Super Cam anymore because when you have, a great coaching staff, you don't need your quarterback to be Superman. Like, you ever notice the quarterbacks that, have to carry their teams always, majority of the time, have bad coaches? Look at Matthew Stafford. Look at Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson does everything for Houston. And you want to know why Houston doesn't make deep playoff runs? Because they're not well coached. Deshaun Watson has been carrying Bill O'Brien on his back ever since the second year that he's been in the NFL. And that's a little bit of a shame to say that because Bill O'Brien at one point in time was a very good coach in the NFL. He won a playoff game with Brock Osweiler, but some way, somehow, he was regressed as a coach. So, listen, Cam Newton is going to be perfectly fine. He has a pretty good coaching staff around him. And I know a lot of people like to say that, oh, he doesn't have a lot of weapons around him. But I think we forget in 2015, Cam Newton took the Carolina Panthers to the Super Bowl with his number one wide receiver being Ted Ginn Jr. And Ted Ginn Jr. has bounced around how many teams now? So, I mean, look, Cam Newton has a really good coaching staff, and I think that he has enough pieces around to be successful. You got N'Keal Harry going into year 2. He was held back in his rookie season last year due to injuries. You got him coming back. You know, he now is going to have a full offseason to learn and prep for this offense. You got Julian Edelman, who, although he is a little bit up there in age, he's still one of the best slot receivers that we have in the NFL. The offensive line, I know they have a little bit of question marks when it comes to the offensive line, but I don't think the offensive line is going to be not too shabby neither. I think the offensive line is still going to be pretty good, and they have a pretty good trio of halfbacks with Sony Michel whenever he comes back from his injury, Lamar Miller. So, I mean, you also got Damian Harris as well. So, I mean, the New England Patriots with Cam Newton, he is going to open up a whole different dynamic in that playbook. And Josh McDaniels, a lot of you guys may not remember this, but Josh McDaniels was the offensive coordinator for the Denver Broncos when Tim Tebow was there. And Josh McDaniels was able to call plays and, you know, kind of find a way to utilize Tim Tebow's strengths that he had, which was his ability to run the football, run a lot of RPOs. So when you look at Cam Newton, the New England Patriots are probably going to be running a lot of RPOs, a lot of re-option. And Cam Newton, I believe that Cam Newton may be a little bit of an upgrade from Tom Brady, which may seem a little bit crazy to say, but here's why I view Cam Newton as an upgrade. In this day and age of the NFL, you have to have a quarterback that's mobile, okay? Now, you don't have to be super mobile. You don't have to run a 4-3 or 4-4 like Lamar Jackson, but you have to have enough mobility that when the pocket breaks down, that you can run around, extend plays, or have enough speed to pick up a first down or a couple, you know. But Tom Brady didn't have that last year. And when the offensive line was battling injuries and when the offensive line play was inconsistent, Tom Brady kind of fluttered down the, you know, stretch because, you know, he didn't have a lot of athleticism. So when the pocket broke down, all he really could do was, you know, either take the sack or throw the ball out of bounds. So, you know, Tom Brady, although he is a great quarterback, he does have a big limitation, which is his lack of athleticism and his lack of mobility. In this day and age in the NFL, with all these fast, you know, pass rushers coming into the league, guys like Montez Sweat and guys like Chase Young who are running these freaky 40 times are super athletic, you got to have a quarterback that's able to step up in the pocket and not only be accurate, but you also have to have a quarterback that's able to, you know, extend plays in the pocket or, you know, try to pick up a couple of yards when things break down. And that's something that kind of held back the New England Patriots offense. And Bill Belichick realizes that. Bill Belichick understands that in order to be successful in the NFL, you have to adapt to, you know, the current state of the game. And the current state of the game that the NFL is heading to is that, you know, you got to have a quarterback with some mobility. You got to have a quarterback with some athleticism. Now, when it comes to defense, they also lost a couple of key guys on the defense, such as Dante Hightower and Patrick Chung, to be some of the more notable names. But although they did lose a couple of experienced veterans on that defense, I think that there's going to be a lot of young guys that step up, guys like Chase Winovich and guys like rookie safety Kyle Duggar, who has been really impressive so far throughout training camp. I think those are going to be the guys who steps up. When you look at the New England Patriots, I mean, this is a roster that has to get younger eventually. And the biggest knock that a lot of people have had on the New England Patriots for the last couple of seasons is that, oh, they're too old, they're too slow. But now when they get younger, everybody wants to say, oh, they're inexperienced and things like that. So, I mean, it seems like nobody's really going to be happy, but the New England Patriots are now starting to get young, and I'm really excited to see what their young core can do. And I think that the New England Patriots could be a 10-win team. I know they have a tough schedule, but I don't think that enough people that are talking about the New England Patriots are giving Bill Belichick enough credit. I know a lot of people like the, get cultivated by how great a player is, like Tom Brady, and that's understandable, but you also have to give credit to where credit is due when it comes to Bill Belichick. I don't think it's strange that, you can win a Super Bowl with the average quarterback if you have a great head coach, but you can't win a Super Bowl with an elite quarterback with a bad head coach. It just doesn't work out. You got to have an elite head coach if you want to, compete and if you want to win games in the NFL and make it far into the playoffs, and that's something that the New England Patriots have with Bill Belichick. Now, like I said, their biggest competition is going to be the Buffalo Bills. I believe that the Buffalo Bills do have a good chance of winning this division, but ultimately I'm getting the benefit of the doubt because I'm not going to count out Bill Belichick. I believe that Bill Belichick is going to have, a game plan set in mind, and that the New England Patriots are going to be better than what a lot of people are out there thinking. A lot of people, it's just easy to assume that a team's going to be bad because they don't have a lot of talent, but the New England Patriots are a team that doesn't win games based on talent. They win games based on the small things, paying attention to the nuances of the game, not having a lot of penalties, not turning the football over, being disciplined, working together as a team. And that's something that a lot of people in the NFL, your average NFL fan, doesn't really understand that. Your average NFL fan, if you're an average NFL fan and you don't really dive into, the philosophy of teams and how these organizations win games, it's pretty easy to say that the New England Patriots are going to be terrible because they don't have a lot of talent. But if you look back and you look at these New England Patriots teams over the last 4 years, the New England Patriots haven't had a top 10 roster since maybe 2011 or 2012, something like that. So, the New England Patriots don't win games based on talent. They win games based on out-coaching you and being better prepared than you. So I think the New England Patriots are going to be a playoff team this year. I think they are one of the biggest, most slept on teams heading into this upcoming NFL season in 2020.